Good evening. You know who I am, hopefully, by now. This is day 18 of 30 days of daily vlogging. And I recorded kind of a long video last night, so today I'm going to keep it pretty short. I have a question for you. Have you ever started reading a book and realized this is the second book in the series? And thought to yourself, what am I doing? I can't read the second book. Not until I've read the first book. Well, that's what happened. I started reading The Kingdom Beyond the Waves by Stephen Hunt. And I got to page number 73 out of about 540 and realized, wait a second, I feel like there's something missing here. And I started looking at this book. I'm like, what? I feel like I'm out of the loop for some reason. Well, come to find out, it's not a standalone. It's not the first book in its series. It is the second. So I was fortunately able to find book number 1, The Court of the Air. And I'm almost done with this book. I've been reading it now for a while, with maybe a few breaks. I've read some other things as well, but I'm on, page 461 out of almost 600 pages. So, fairly decent size mass market paperback. Anyway, these stories are pretty fun because I guess I would classify them as somewhat of a steampunk style story. There are mechanical men in the story, not robots necessarily, but steam-powered mechanical men. And if that's not steampunk, I don't know what is. There's also characters that have what appear to be magical type abilities, and they are described as being either from or having spent time behind what they call the veil. And it's like this area of mist where it's thought to be a gateway to another world. And now, having read to page 43 in this book, or whatever page I said it was, the beginning of this story talks about discovering something in a cave. The main character in this one is an archaeologist, and she finds this cave that has what sounds to me like some kind of multi-wheeled vehicle, a car of some sort. Now, that seems strange because that's not the type of thing that's in book 1, right? So all of that is leading me to believe that this mist area is actually a portal to this world, our world. And maybe I'm totally off base, but it's kind of fun to think about. So another reason I really like these stories is, it's got a picture of a hot air balloon on the front. Well, the story describes, maybe not in too great a detail, but it's definitely an element of the story, airships, right? And basically, I'll read anything that has an airship in it. I love airships. So, having fun with this, enjoying the steampunk experience, which is a little bit outside of my normal to be read list, or whatever you want to call it, my stack of books. I don't know if you can see it in the corner here. If I turn that just a little bit, you can see my stack of, right here, this stack of books. Those are primarily science fiction. You got things like Orson Scott Card's Ender's Game, Jack McDevitt's The Engines of God, Ben Bova, Transhuman. Manta's Gift by Timothy Zahn. There's a bunch of Timothy Zahn in there, a bunch of Orson Scott Card. Fred Saberhagen, Octagon. There's an oldie. What about Diaspora by W.H. Yeats? Man, there's some good books in here. Ooh, Eternity and Eon, Legacy. Man, that trilogy, so weird, but so good. Actually, it's probably due for a reread. That is such a good series. Man, there's some other good ones in there. Subterranean by James Rollins. Man, that's a good one. Maybe a little bit less on the side of sci-fi, but more, fantasy's not the right word. It's more of a mystery, adventure. Man, I don't want to give it away. But it also has to do with another one of my favorite themes. I'm going to have to give it away. Inner Earth type of idea, right? I love airships. I love Inner Earth or Hollow Earth stories. I picked up, I think I may have shown them to you the other day. I've got here Tarzan at the Earth's core. I just picked this up, The Starless World, which is a Star Trek story. And in here, if you look at the back, I think, yeah, they stumble across this sphere and find a race of people that live inside inside the shell of this sphere. And there's a, what do they say, a white dwarf star inside. And the people have no idea that there's anything beyond their little slice of the universe. So, I mean, I love that kind of concept. That idea just is fascinating to me. So I actually used to, and I want to say it was back in like 2016, I had created a WordPress site called Fellow Bibliomaniacs. Say that 5 times fast. Fellow Bibliomaniacs. And my goal was to read books and review them, you know, with the purpose of like sharing information with other parents to help them know what might be a good book for their kids to read, or like their teens, right? Well, it was fun for a while, but I realized pretty quickly I could not do a good review of a book. I couldn't do it without spoiling the story, like I just kind of did on Subterranean. I just couldn't figure it out. And I know I probably should have learned, but by that point, I realized, you know, the reason I'm reading is for fun. It's relaxing, it's enjoyable, it's something that I want to enjoy, right? And once I kind of cross that threshold of, oh, now I have to be more deliberate, and I have to pay really close attention and try to evaluate character growth, character development, and, you know, did this story have a good plot line or whatever? Then it felt like homework, and it kind of sucked the fun out of it. And so at that point, I just kind of embraced the fact that, hey, I just want to talk about these books that I've enjoyed reading. So I did that for a little while, and then it was probably around 2019, 2020, after moving here to Oklahoma, that I learned about Substack, a web-based, or I guess it's primarily web-based. They now have an iOS app. I think you can run it on your iPad too, but it's an online, I hesitate to call it social media, but it is kind of social media. But it's a place where writers can share longer form content. Usually it's in written form, right? But of course they've added audio capability, so you can create and publish a podcast directly through their site. You can do, you can post video now. You can even do live streaming. They've got some new features that are coming that are going to help enhance community type connections within the platform. I actually have in the past participated in what's called Sci Friday. And I would either write, you know, a piece of flash fiction, so something really short. It could be anywhere between like 100, usually less than 1,000 words, right? Something you write in one day, you sit down, type it out, boom, and ready to go. I would share those on Sci Friday. Sometimes I would work on a longer story, longer being basically anything over 1,000 words. So it's still a short story, right? You could read it in, I don't know, 15 or 20 minutes, something like that. But I've enjoyed sharing those things within that community, and with some of the announcements that Substack is actually just sent out today. They've announced that they're coming up with new creative ways for people in communities like that one to be able to discover each other, to share their content with each other, and even kind of moderate who's able to share. So some interesting features and controls that they're bringing about, and I really look forward to seeing what they're going to do with it. So, and I say I've participated in that in the past because it's probably been a good year since I've written any science fiction and published it on my Substack publication. So that's one of my goals for 2026 is to carve out some time to get back into some kind of rhythm of writing, even if it's just flash fiction, just the really short stuff. That is totally okay because that's enjoyable too. And if you're like me, I mean, I'm busy. I don't have a lot of time to read a lot of different Substack publications. I would like to. There's some great stuff out there, some great authors, great stories. But sometimes it's the shorter ones that I can digest while waiting in line at the grocery store, while waiting to check out, or I'm sitting at the barbershop waiting to get my hair cut. Things like that, you know. So sometimes it's the shorter stories that actually I'm able to get through more of them and then provide feedback to those authors. Hey, man, that was a great story. Or I have a question about this scene that you wrote. Or is there going to be a sequel? That kind of thing. So creating some community, creating some conversation around the other authors' stories. So, and of course, I always welcome that type of feedback on my stories as well. So hopefully I'll get some new ones out there for you to enjoy. And I think, looking at my stack of books here, see if there's anything else I want to say. I don't think so. I think that's it for today. So day 18, man, we're getting closer to 30 all the time. And just to kind of give you an idea of what I'm thinking, I'm going to continue doing these daily vlogs up through day 30. Then I'm probably going to pause, just temporarily at least, because I do want to continue creating videos, but I want to try to be a little bit more specific about the types of videos that I'm creating, right? So I need to give that some thought. I've got, 12 days, I guess, to figure it out. So, looking at YouTube, when I upload these videos to YouTube, there's a section in there labeled courses. And I thought, oh man, I could probably do some like Excel instructional type videos. And I know that there's a bajillion of them out there, but I think what I'd like to do is try to do some simple ones, like pretend like I'm teaching my mom how to use Excel. Sorry, Mom, that's not intended to be negative or anything, but I want to be able to communicate those things in a simple way for those that maybe aren't familiar with the software or aren't as comfortable with computers. If I can make it seem approachable, then I think there's value in that. So I don't know, what do you think? Should I do some simple Excel videos, trying to make it approachable to people who aren't comfortable on computers? Question is, and this is a problem I have to figure out, is I don't have Excel on my Mac, and that's the computer that I would have to do these videos on. So as I'm saying this out loud, I might have to pivot to something else. But you get the idea of the sort of thing that I'm trying to do, right? So if you got any ideas, throw them at me. Let me see what you got. I know I've got some other ideas. They're just my brain is not working real well at the moment. I need to go read my book and relax and go to bed so I can be fresh in the morning, ready to solve more problems, because that's life. All right, have a good evening. I'll talk to you tomorrow.